and welcome. I'm Rachel Humphreys, the Alumni Relations Officer here at Avondale University College. We're here with Errol Singer, who is the citation recipient for the Honour Year 1980. Welcome, Errol. How are you?
Yes, I'm pretty well for my age, I think.
Oh, you're looking great. Now, we just want to chat to you a little bit about what you've done since leaving college and a little bit about who you are and sort of the journey that you've had. So we're going to start with a really obvious one. Just tell us what you're doing right now, who's your immediate family, and where you're living.
Well, I'm retired from ministry about 4 years. Came back from New Zealand to be near our family here in Maitland. So all our girls are around us here in Maitland, enjoying retirement. And my wife, Michelle, well, she's really enjoying that after 20 odd years in New Zealand.
Oh, it's a bit warmer here, is it?
No, the attraction was the family.
Oh, okay. Yes, of course. Now, you said you've read a fair range of books, and that it's expanded your knowledge of reality. So, is there a particular book that sort of has done that more than any other for you?
Well, I had to think really hard about this because hundreds of books. I heard one minister had 5,000 he's trying to get rid of at the moment. So I narrowed it down to three, which are to do with our Christianity. Adventism must be practical, it must be relevant, and in this modern world with our people. And the three that I put down were the book Prayer by Philip Yancey, and another one that you probably wouldn't heard of, most wouldn't have heard of, Facing Suffering by Roberto Banderas, on suffering in this world. And the last one was about being a disciple, not just a believer, and that was Not a Fan by Kyle Alderman.
Right, and that sort of, I guess, expanded your knowledge of what's, I guess, the reality of the world.
The reality of world and Christians and Adventism in the world, yes.
Oh, very good. Now, when you were here at Avondale College, was there someone who, staff, student, whoever, was there someone who sort of impacted you in a positive way or, made your experience here a better one?
Yes, well, probably at the top of my list would be Arthur Patrick. And I wouldn't want to put him in a line, but the next one would probably be Pastor and Mrs. Rice, a couple. And the last one was Gary Williams. These were some of my teachers in practical theology, and they related how learning was not just the end of it, it was about living the life of a Christian, being personable, being listener, being gracious.
And I think that's a theme I sort of hear from a lot of people I've spoken to, that the lecturers really put that into the relationship with their students, and through their teaching as well.
Yes. Well, those were some in the college and associated colleges.
Now, you've said that you've done a fair bit of volunteering and caring for your community. What areas have you sort of, I guess, delved into in that space?
Well, currently I'm involved in caring for the needy, and something that I always wanted to do in a more fuller way, but couldn't. So many things to do in ministry, but since I retired, I'm in caring for the needy and reaching the needy in our community, meeting their basic needs, and sharing the love of Christ with them. So I do. I've been in I was 4 years as a food pantry leader in Maitland, the food rescue they have there. I'm not currently involved in that because I'm currently a community service leader, team leader at Wallsend Church. That's where we attend. So that's been very interesting as we've done things for the community in the time of the COVID. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and thank you for your contribution there and for serving your community. And I guess speaking of serving your community, you mentioned that the 12 years you spent in New Zealand, ministering to the Polynesian Adventists there was one of the most memorable of your life.
Yes.
Um, what specifically impacted you there?
Well, it was about a cultural experience as much because uh, they're not English is not their first language, and they're pretty well new to the country, and they very interesting the cultural Adventist experience there, and but their enthusiasm and their commitment and as being full time disciples
Mm,
and their visible love and fellowship and friendship, and, how they express that to the pastoral family and to others too. It's just a really enriching experience for a person who hadn't really brought up in basically a European culture of the South Island of New Zealand. Didn't really experience that, and so it was a learning, but a very enriching and loving experience
mm.
for those people. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, you've done so much for the local churches that you've worked in, and you've sort of given so much of yourself and of your family to wherever you've been and wherever you've served. But how have you kept it simple? Because you said that when God calls, I serve. But how have you kept it simple?
To try and remember the basics about not only for your own personal experience as a pastor, in the sense that well, the baseline is about having a relationship with God and yourself, and putting that right up there so you know what it is that you're supposed to be emulating and teaching. Um, the uh, yes, the relevancy, keeping it simple, relevancy of what it is to the Christian life, no matter what background you come from, whatever life experience you may have at the moment, having participation and inclusion of everybody, as many as possible in the congregation, so they have ownership, and being a team leader, in a team culture, um, and encouraging and appreciating everything that they can give in their ministry and encouraging it. Those are sort of the baselines that you always try to remember, whatever you want to do in a church, that you're not a lone soldier, that you are creating a team as disciples for the Lord, and they feel enthusiastic about, you know, and that's it's not necessarily a teaching experience; it's a learning experience for everybody together. And there has been, you get troubles in that, and but most of the time, if you concentrate on those, remember them,
Mm,
ingrain them in your memory, then it has been successful. It has been an enriching experience and a wonderful experience.
mm. And you've given so much in all that you've done, and I imagine you've received so much in return.
Yes, it's you don't think about it until actually you stop and that you're retired, and you think back and you think, well, uh, so this what is happening now, this citation caused me to even further think what is important and what has happened, even though been some ruts along the way. You know. So no minister, no pastoral leader will be thinking everything's going to go wonderfully,
Mm,
but remembering these essentials: relationship with God, relevancy, participation, encouraging people in their life walk with God.
mm. Well, Errol, thank you what you've done for your communities, for the people around you, and thank you for your time today. Errol, the class of 1980 honours you for your unwavering dedication to serving others with integrity and with heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel.